Hi, I'm Adam Kayfitz, and I'm a psychologist, and I work with parents, families, and children. Emotion regulation is really one of the main issues that, if we're not helping our kids develop these skills to be able to tolerate and deal with their feelings in a way that's productive, can lead to a lot of challenges that are down the road. Emotion regulation is really very similar to any other kind of regulation that we have, whether that's regulating how thirsty we are or regulating our hunger. It's basically about noticing that there's a sensation in our body. So in this case, it's an emotion. But if we're dealing with hunger, we have to be able to notice the physical sensations of hunger. We have to know what those are so we can label it. And we have to be able to tolerate it, to be able to manage what that feeling is, so that then we can do the appropriate or most useful thing that's going to help us in that situation. So if we're hungry, the most useful thing for us to do is to eat. Now, some of us can get hangry, which a lot of parents know about with their kids, and then they're getting really angry. And we know that when we can get them food, that can actually help them to regulate. Now, if we're having emotions and feelings such as anger or sadness, each of those emotions needs a different kind of need to be met. And if we as parents can help support our kids to get the need of sadness or to get the need of anger dealt with, we can sometimes really help them with their problem. One of the big things when parents come to me looking for help with their kids is wondering if the emotions that their kids are showing are typical. A lot of times when kids are having reactions, because they don't have a fully developed brain, they're having big emotional reactions. They're having big tantrums. There might be yelling. There might be screaming. There might be throwing themselves on the floor. There might be thrashing toys. And that can be pretty concerning for a parent to be able to see those kinds of behaviors that are associated with those feelings. In many cases, in fact, in most cases, because kids don't have a fully developed brain, a lot of times their reactions are just their reactions. And our job is to try to support them through it so we can try to teach them skills that over the course of time and with development, they can get better and better at that skill. But their brains aren't going to be fully developed until the ages of between 26 and 30. So it's a really long road where progress is never going to look linear. Kids have big feelings about lots of things that don't work out in their life. They're not happy if they have a sibling come into their life, or they might be. They're not happy if they're not invited to a birthday party. They're not happy when we tell them they can't watch TV. They're sad if they don't get invited to a birthday party. They're mad if somebody breaks their toy. They have really big feelings. And our job to help them with regulating that is to be able to help them to be able to label how it is that they feel and teach them various skills so that they can express it in the best possible way. Kids are not going to do it perfectly. This is a really important topic because, well, dealing with our kids' emotions is a lifelong process, and there's nothing inherently problematic about our kids having big emotions and feelings. If we don't work on those skills and trying to help them develop it within an age appropriate way, over the course of time, problems in those areas can then lead to mental health problems. When kids are coming to my practice or parents are bringing their kids to my practice, they're either struggling with over-regulating, meaning they're not really showing a lot of emotion. They seem to be shut down. Perhaps they're looking depressed. Perhaps they're over-regulating and showing OCD tendencies and really trying to be highly controlling and things like that. Or parents are coming and they're finding that their children are under-regulated, having problems with dealing with their feelings, getting in arguments and fights with people, having big blow-ups, having problems with video game addictions and internet addictions and phone addictions. Very often at the heart of it is how well our kids regulate. Sometimes we have to help kids tone it down. Sometimes we have to help kids to bring it up a little bit more. My hope is that through this video series, I'll talk about a whole bunch of different topics and areas that will be of interest to you and that can be helpful as you help your kid with their emotion regulation. Thanks, and we'll see you at the next video.